Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today Crim6 put out a tweet, a couple of tweets, a series of them, talking more about the Hook situation and the potential roster move with Dallas and all of that good stuff we all know about by now. And there was a lot of good stuff to take from, a lot of potential drama if you want to call it that, so we're going to talk about that today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like down below, and definitely leave a comment as well with your thoughts on the video and just your thoughts on the whole situation. I would love to hear what you have to say. It's a very controversial topic. I'll be giving my opinions today, so maybe you will too. Subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more CDL videos from me in the future. We are winding down the season, so definitely going to be pumping out pretty much as much content as possible as we move towards the end of the season and into the off season. So if you like the videos and you want to stick around for more, definitely hit that subscribe button. Also, shout out to my guy Dan for the thumbnails. I'm sure if you noticed recently, the thumbnails have been much better. That's because he's awesome with the graphics. If you need graphics at all, hit that guy up. His Twitter link is down below in the description, and let's hop right in. So Crim6 put out this series of tweets. The first one has since been deleted, as you see, but he was basically saying that he talked to the legal counsel, or he talked to the people at Envy and the people at Activision, and they were okay with everything he had to say in his video about the Hook situation, but his legal counsel did not give the approval, so the video has not yet been released, but it will be released at some point after Champs. If anybody cares anymore about that video, it's kind of been like being dragged out forever now, but regardless of that, he said, I'm going to share some info from the video now. And he did. He dropped a pretty big bomb on us. He said, when we replaced Kyler with Philo, we told Tyler that it was very likely it was temporary. He took that a lot. He took a lot of flack, and he still gave it 110% every single day despite knowing this. You know, a lot of flack meaning they were not playing well at that point, and a lot of the blame was being put on Philo after replacing Hook, who was playing pretty well at that point in time. He said it was also done so Ender could start running a sub in preparation for who we wanted at the time, so hinting at who they wanted at the time. And then he says, if I can find my mouse here, he says the person we wanted was Clayster above everyone. As Clay's an AR, we were fine with running group matches with Fellow and Ender on sub until we got him. The trade negotiations fell through, especially after NYSL just got second in Stage 3, so we can't really be mad at that, just unfortunate. He goes on to say we've all felt really bad about what happened about the whole situation, especially regarding Fellow, and I'm assuming that Clay wanted to play with us again. I see everyone giving Clay crap right now, but I can't really blame him for feeling the way he does right now. And finally he says, with that being said, Vivid has proven that he can fly with the Eagles and has been the most random yet most fortunate pickup I've ever been a part of, guys, in the workshop day in and day out, and I'm really liking where this team is at right now. So there's a lot to break down from here, and we're going to start with the actual in-game potential of what would have happened. So the potential roster of Crim6, Clayster, Illy, and Shotzi. What would that roster have looked like? I don't think that roster would have went very well. I think in hindsight it's probably good this roster did not happen. There's a few reasons for this. First of all, I mean, of course, Clayster and Crim6 can play together as they did last year, and they played together before, so they surely can get their playstyles together, no problem. There also would be a lot of wisdom and leadership among that team, of course. However, one thing I don't like is having Ilya in the full-time SMG role. I don't think was the way to go for Dallas. I think he has rebounded since his lows of the season, which were when he was on that sub. You know, even to start the year on the AR and then really on the 74U, he was not a good player for a lot of this year. But he's been playing really well recently, like actually very well. And I think his improvement has been one of the biggest reasons for their success alongside of Shotzi just being one of the best players in the world. But I'm not so sure that the Vivid, or the Illy, turnaround would have happened if he stayed in that SMG role full time. I just think that he's definitely in this game at least more suited for the AR role. Maybe in other games he can be an SMG, but this game he clearly has looked better on the AR. And then finally there's the Vivid factor. I think the SMG duo of Vivid and Shotzi is just a really good duo. When I said that pretty much as soon as it happened, I was on Reddit, and I know people didn't like it. I said, I think this might be the best duo to go against the Tiny Terrors, just in terms of the pressure they put on the map. You won't really find a more fast-paced duo in terms of an SMG duo than Vivid and Shotzi. And it took a while, you know, I don't know why it keeps scrolling up, sorry about that, but there for a while that was wrong. Vivid and Shotzi were not playing well together. It was mostly Vivid. He came over. He was still playing too fast for his own good. He was out ahead of his teammates. He had a pretty bad numbers, and they weren't playing well. They were struggling even with him in there instead of Fellow. But since then, since he and Shotzi have gotten their chemistry down, they've been playing very well as a duo, and the whole team is playing well as a result of it. I think it's made Ilya and Crim's job easier. They're playing better again, and just Vivid himself individually is playing very well. And Shotzi, of course, like I said, he's one of the best players in the world. So just looking at it, I think right now, or, you know, the most recent we've seen Clayster, I think Illy right now is better than him. And I also think Vivid on a sub right now is better than Illy ever would have been on a sub. So both of those reasons, I think Dallas is better off with this roster. I think, like I said, Clayster a weaker AR than Illy is in his current form, and also Vivid definitely a much stronger SMG than Illy was when we saw him on the SMG role. So for all those reasons, I think Dallas lucked out with Clayster not being able to come over to the Empire. I think they're much better off with this roster. Like I said, it took a little time. They took a lot of flack for it at first. I'm sure it was frustrating on their end. but they've definitely, it's paid dividends since then. Now, the other twist off from this is the Clayster angle, and, Crim6 hides this in himself. This is nobody jumping to conclusions. Crim6 seems to allude to this in his tweet when he says, I see everyone giving Clay crap right now, but I can't really blame him for feeling the way that he does. This makes it seem to me like the reason Clayster feels this way, or the reason he got upset and took his time off from the New York Subliners, is because he wanted to be with Dallas. And I have a lot to say about this. So we're going to tie it in with this. So this was from the Flame the other day after, I believe, New York's, one of their league matches. I forget which one. Among current speculation regarding the Clayster NYSL situation, Enable said, I think Clayster might have just quit on them. Just doesn't seem right at all, which that's not what he said. He actually said, I don't think Clay would have done that. They quoted him wrong, but they fixed it. And Azem in the chat said that's actually exactly what happened. It's exactly what it was, but we just keep pushing. So basically he's saying that Clay should have straight up quit. And this is where I take a lot of problems, because it's not necessarily that Clayster took some time off. There's no problems with that in my mind. If you need to take some time off to get better, take some time off to get better. The problem with me is, whatever the reason is for his departure, he still quit. You can say it's not a bad thing, but it's still a thing. He quit on his team. That's just a fact. And then this makes it look worse, in my opinion, because it makes it look like Clayster wanted to be in Dallas. And when he didn't get to Dallas, he just said, all right, I'm done. And my thing, too, is New York was better than Dallas there for a while. So it's not like New York had no chance of being good. They were better than Dallas in Stage 3. They got second place at that major. Of course, the Stage 4 major with Azem's visa situation was very unfortunate, but at that point, Clayster's play was already going downhill anyway. He really has not been playing that well since Stage 3. He was pretty average, I guess you could say, in Stage 4, and then off to a really bad start in Stage 5. So to me, it seemed like I'd rather be in Dallas. I can't be in Dallas. And even though we have the potential to be better than Dallas here, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to work with this team anymore. I just want to be done. So it seems to me like, we talk about a guy like Clayster. We always say, oh, throw him to the Wolves. He'll come back leading the pack. No, he didn't come back leading this pack. He came back and he quit on this pack. That's just what it looks like to me. I know my opinion does not mean much. I'm not a Call of Duty professional. I'm not anybody in the community, so this is just one person's opinion. But I see a lot of people saying this, but unfortunately I also see a lot of people saying that Clayster deserves no blame for this situation, which I just cannot get behind that idea. I think that a lot of other players would have gotten flack for this, and just because Clayster is an all-time great who has historically been a guy who's known for sort of keeping a team together and having good teamwork and being a good leader, he's not showcasing those traits right now. So again, say whatever you want. Whatever the reason is for it, he's been through a lot. He's almost 30 years old. He's towards the end of his career. He just wants to win. Whatever you want to say. But my point is, he had the potential to win in New York. They were one series against FaZe. They were in the grand finals from the winner's bracket. So they were right there. They could have won Stage 3 easily. They obviously had the talent. But then, after that placement, Clayster couldn't go to Dallas anymore. His play went downhill. Their play went downhill, and he just said, screw it. And again, I am not, I don't lack sympathy towards mental health. If Clayster's mental health is an issue, again, by all means, take care of it. But I also think the mental health thing is being used as a little bit of a buzzword without really fully understanding, without really just giving the situation the sort of intricacies it deserves. You can't just say, oh, it's his mental health, that's it. We got to really get into that, because for a while there, he seemed like he was doing fine. I don't know. They were winning, and he was talking a lot of smack, and he was letting everybody know he was being his troll and just doing Clayster things, playing that villain role. But then things started going south, and all of a sudden it was, oh, my mental health's bad. I don't want to do it anymore. So I don't know. It's just a weird look for me. I think his attitude when his team was winning and when he was performing well versus his attitude when he stopped performing well and his team started getting worse is just very, very telling. I think he has just been a little bit hypocritical this year. I think definitely the whole leader thing, or the leading the Wolves, like I said earlier, I just don't think any of that really applies anymore. It's hard for me to give that same respect to his leadership as I once did, because it just seems like he bailed on his team. That's all it seems like to me. Now, people were saying that he wanted to make them look bad. He wanted to leave and show them, hey, you're nothing without me. Of course they're going to struggle without you, dude. They're bringing in some guy who has not played since, Stage 1? Of course it's not going to be easy right away. And it's not like Clayster's been frying the entire time. He's been arguably New York's worst player in Stage 4 and Stage 5. He's definitely not been their best player. So I just think this just looks petty on Clayster's part. It's unfortunate for a legend of the scene for this to be happening. It seems like some people are turning on him. I don't hate Clayster, but I do think this is a very bad look for him. I think that he could have handled the situation better if he just took some time away and came back and led the team to a decent performance at Champs or whatever else. It would have looked better than this. But also maybe you can say, Crim6 shouldn't have shared this because now it makes Clay look bad. Yeah, that's part of it too. Maybe Crim should have kept that private, but he's just telling his side of the story, and he's not here to make Clayster look good. He's just saying the truth. We wanted Clay. We didn't get Clay. Clay didn't like it. Now Clay's out. So I don't know. It came full circle. The Clayster issues were sort of tied in with the Dallas Empire situation, so it all came together. I wanted to make a video about it. So basically, to sum up my thoughts, I would say I think Dallas lucked out in terms of their skill on the strictly, in the game by not getting Clayster, and I also think that Clayster handled the situation with New York very poorly. And of course, if this is all true, that's a big disclaimer. If everything is true, where it seems that Clayster sort of just gave up on his team, that is definitely a bad look for Clayster in terms of his image as a great leader or whatever else. Of course, we have to hear his side of the story, but until then, just going on what we know now, it seems like that's the case. It's safe to say he quit on his team, whether you agree with the reasons or not. Again, maybe there's good reasons or valid reasons to quit on your team, but whatever the reasons are, he quit on his team. I think it's fair to say at this point in time until we learn more. So that is my thoughts on the video. Again, I am just one person. In my opinion, it really does not mean anything, but I want to get my thoughts out there for you for this video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to leave a like down below. As always, also leave a comment with your thoughts on the entire situation. I'd love to have that discussion with you down below, and subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more videos and other CDL videos from me in the future. I do appreciate all of that so very much. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a good rest of your day today, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.